I lock in. What is it?
You the cheater.
I gotta be the cheater.
Hey.
What's going on, you guys? So, Andre SOG Ward came out with a bad habits list for outside the ring for any fighter. Of course, it was 1 through 10, but we're going to go over 1 through 5 in this video. Number 1, putting drugs or alcohol in your system. Now, this is a no-brainer. How could you ever hope to compete at the highest level? How could you ever hope to compete against the top athletes if you're putting alcohol and drugs in your body? You know, how could you ever hope to compete at the highest level if you have those vices, right? So number 1 was a no-brainer as far as don'ts for fighters outside the ring. Number 2, gaining 20 to 30 pounds in between fights. We see this from fighters, you know, guys like Adrian Broner, Tank Davis, Errol Spence. We've seen this from some fighters in the past that they like to blow up in between fights, put on a lot of weight in between fights to where they get into these fight camps and it becomes a weight cutting camp. And they spend most of the time cutting weight instead of sharpening their skills, game planning, working on strategies. They spend most of their time getting in shape, losing weight. So gaining 20 to 30 pounds should also be a no-brainer as far as what you shouldn't do outside the ring as a fighter. It should be a no-brainer. Gaining weight, gaining 20, 30 pounds. And then we go into camp. You got to cut that 30 to 40 pounds plus what you got to normally cut to make the weight. It's just not good. It's just not good. Number 3, only training when you have a fight coming up. Some guys, you know, you see it in their performances that they may not train or be motivated to be in a gym unless they got a fight coming up. So they get in the ring, they look flat. They look like they unmotivated. They can't get it together. Their timing is off. They ain't been in the gym working all year round, staying sharp. You got to stay sharp because the next guy or the next young hungry fighter is coming up. They stand in the gym, stand working, doing whatever it takes. But if you only training when the fight's coming up, how could you ever? It just doesn't make sense. You have to train all year round. Yeah, I know some guys today like to say, oh, well, these guys got lives too. Yeah, but the career of a fighter is a very short one. And not everybody can have these 20-year, 15-year careers. So it's best to stay sharp and take care of yourself while you're in your prime. Even when you're older, staying sharp, staying in the gym. No, don't wait till a fight come up to get in the gym to start working. It just doesn't make sense. So you mean tell me you sat there this whole time eating Flamin' Hots and shit, and instead of improving your skills, sharpening your abilities, learning new techniques, right? Just doesn't make sense. Number 4, believing in your own hype. Quote, there is always more work to do. Believing in your own hype. We've seen this before. Guys believing in their own hype. And when the going gets rough, they end up folding. Or they take the situation for granted. They may not have prepared properly because they think the opponent is less than them because they believe in their own hype. The fans and the media saying this guy is the best and he's doing this and he's doing that. You start to believe in your own hype. You start to not work as hard as you believe you need to work because you believe in your own hype. Instead of realizing that the next guy that they may not be talking about may be the one that knock you off the chopping block, knock you off the mountaintop. Believing in your own hype. There's always somebody out there working hard. There's always somebody better. You got to keep that in mind. Believing in your own hype. Well, we've seen a lot of great fighters, a lot of good fighters fail, most likely because they believed in their own hype. So number 4, believing in your own hype. That's a good one. Don't never believe in your own hype. There's always more work to do. You can always learn. There's always room for improvement. Number 5, loving the nightlife. Loving the nightlife. For a professional fighter, especially at the highest level, there's no room for error. It's a game of inches. You can't make no mistakes. And living the nightlife, being up all night, partying, drinking, having fun, smoking, whatever it is you're doing, your rivals is probably in bed sleeping, getting ready to get up in the morning to go train. Meanwhile, you still out and it's 3, 4 in the morning. You're drunk, you're having a good time, but your rivals, your fellow contenders, your fellow champions are out 5 in the morning training, running, getting their miles in, eating right, not putting alcohol into their bodies, not being around smoke and all that. Loving the nightlife. That's a big one, because rest is important, and you can't be resting if you up living a nightlife. You can't be getting the best out of yourself if you up all day and then you decide to go out and party all night. It's a no-brainer. But yeah, this is a Laundry Awards list, and a lot of these things, this 1 through 5 alone, pertains to quite a few fighters that we witnessed in the past 3 or 4 years. Then you start paying attention to guys like SOG. Good list, 1 through 5. Andre Ward's bad habits outside the ring for any fighter. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy. Peace out.